What is up, you messy sluts? It is absolutely pissing it down here. So I thought I would make a quick video on a common midfield pressing trigger, and how it's sort of set up, how it works and things. And look, this trigger is so common. I reckon that after you've sort of seen it explained and things, that you will probably be able to identify it within the next 5 to 10 minutes of a football match that you watch. But anyway, in order to get to the pressing trigger, we actually have to talk a little bit about 1-2s. And I've set up, where's my mouse? There it is. So we've got some players up here. And look, this is an example of a poor 1-2. Where, this one is going to try and tempt his opposite number in. He's going to play it, and then it's going to go either outside or inside, depending on his run. And this might work in your local five-a-side, or it might work down the park. But the only reason it's working down the park is because you're playing people who only play down the park. It's a rubbish setup, and the reason it's rubbish is it is on the same horizontal line, and we do not like that. Because it is basically no bloody different to being on the same vertical line. And these things are bad because your options are extremely limited. And we will talk about the half turn actually later. But what you want to be doing is you want to be creating diagonals. And the reason that you want diagonals is, first of all, not on the same horizontal line, and also they're not on the same vertical line. So it means that you can do more with the football. So if you play in midfield, or if you play any sort of form of football and you don't do this, try making these angles and seeing how you get on. Like, this is a common complaint that we have with Bruno, and sometimes with Mount, and remain to be seen with Eriksen, is that when people talk about creating support angles, what they actually mean is they're talking about getting someone on a diagonal, which is just a much easier and more accessible way of explaining it. But anyway, that's so with a 1-2, just to sort of finish it, you're either going to drop it inside or outside, and you're going to run on in space. And I suppose might as well quickly do the third man, which is exactly the same, where everyone is on different lines. Ball gets played in, and then this guy is going to run blindside and receive it in space. It's the same principle, is that you want to be on diagonals so that you can make things easier for yourself and your teammates. Anyway, let's get on to the pressing trigger. This here is a standard 4-1-4-1 block, right? They're the 2 4s. These are the 1s. This is actually this is a ladder block, where this is on a diagonal as well, because it allows you to squeeze the pitch more effectively. And what that means is that if the ball gets played here, this is the only place they're allowed to transition. If they knock it out there, because we're on a diagonal, this 7, who's got to cover more ground, has less ground to cover because they're staggered. So that's a little extra bit for you. And obviously the 6 is going to be screening. He's going to be looking for interceptions and protecting here. And we're going to be looking at 11 and a 9 to press. So that's us. Now for the enemy, the Blues, there's a couple. I'm hoping that you're seeing some problems with their team setup. The second phase play, their fullbacks are far too high, and they've isolated themselves, which means that they can't really help with the build-up. And also, these guys are on horrible lines. They're not staggered at all, and even here, this makes a huge difference. Doing that makes a huge difference. But if you're a midfielder, you'll notice this quite a lot. Players orientate themselves with each other. Where is the arrow? Yeah. Players orientate themselves in bad positions and have to adapt and stuff. But anyway, let's talk about let's talk about the pressing trigger here. Right. So the 9, as you know, in a block is going to come and apply pressure and try and cut one side of the pitch off, and the 11 is just going to be looking. He's going to be looking to do two things. One is he's looking to screen this ball out here using his cover shadow, and then he's looking to push on to the. He's looking to apply pressure to this guy, and maybe force him to turn out and play home. But if this guy plays the ball into the 10, him and the 8 are on the same line. This is actually the trigger to go. And the reason it's triggered to go is he can only play one pass here. Whoops. And that pass is backwards. So the 10, who was marking him, he knows that. He's going to leave his man and he's going to follow it. And a couple of things will happen now. Now the first thing is people are going to go man to man, right? And this depends on your tactic, your individual tactics. But the 7 would probably look to get on the 5, and the 3 is going to push up, probably take the 8. 8's going to go on 10. 2's going to go on 3, and the rest of us are going to get as forward as quickly as we can, because what we do not want is a ball being played over the top. We're going to try and completely take out these 5 players that have got too far. Now, and what that means, right, is the 4 is almost certainly going to try and play it home, and the 10 is going to carry his run on, right? You see, you'll have seen Bruno do this, I think, now. He's going to carry his run on and try and cut that pass off there. All these guys are obviously going to be pulling back to try and support. The 11 will, by the way, go on to the 4 here. And these guys are desperately trying to get up onside. But what we're going to do is we're going to squeeze up as much as we can and try and pin them back. And they're very, very likely to lose the ball here. Because they're going to go long and stuff like that. So that's a really common midfield pressing trigger, and it's called jumping, or at least that's, well, actually I call it popping, as a lot of you will know. But the common term that you'll see from commentators is the jump, because as the ball is played here to the 10, and there's only one option, 8's jumping. He's jumping up a line. And that means that everyone else can jump up a line. And just to quickly finish, this is the value of the half turn, because you can sometimes kid your opposite number that you are flat-footed and square when you're not, and then you're gonna turn. He's gonna have jumped. The centre backs and everyone else are going to be getting. They're going to basically be in a transition to move from a mid block to a high block, and when you half turn and you beat this man, you're in between the lines. You've beaten a line of pressure, and it's party time. And 90% of the time, if you play at any decent level, you then prepare yourself because you're going to get taken out. You're going to get fouled. Man City used to do this all the fucking time, like. You're going to get fouled, and it's a free yellow card. But also, what you can do defensively for this is you can pretend that you're pushing on a side, or that that you've been sold by this guy, and it's an interesting duel. If you know someone can half turn, it's quite fun, sort of like setting it up to see you can if you can read it and things like that. But essentially, that's the midfield pressing trigger, and it involves identifying poor structure in the opposition team and forcing them into making passes on the same vertical line and having their teammate on the same horizontal line. So have a look out for this in your games, because you'll begin to see it all the time. Like, a lot of people say, "Oh, why is Bruno chasing down the keeper and stuff?" It's because of this. But anyway, this messy slut is going to go and have a chicken salad. So I hope that you enjoyed that.